Funny side note, after the presentation, I got an offer within an hour or two after that.
In this video, I'm talking to Justin Hayes, who just received a multiple six-figure job offer, and he did it within 6 weeks of starting his job search. Not only that, but he was able to negotiate that job offer to earn himself even more. In this video, he's gonna walk you through each of the steps that he took, so you'll wanna listen in. You just walk me through like how you went about applying and ultimately getting some of the interviews that you got.
I niched down the resume and LinkedIn profile, just like what we talked about, right? I like tailored my skills, dropped the soft skills, really elevated the hard skills, tried to correlate my experience to that of like what my ideal role is, which is IT and security, SaaS oriented solutions engineering consultant. And then from there, it was just like hard-nosed execution on exactly what you said, which is look at these openings as they come out in 24 hours. Like I set up a LinkedIn alert for it. It came into my inbox every morning. I woke up, I had my coffee, and then I looked down that list for what was hyper targeted for me, and I applied instantly. And just on that advice alone, right, I netted somewhere north of 6 to 7 different interview opportunities. And almost all of those came from an immediate outreach from the recruiter within 24 hours of me even applying, which said to me, hey, there is just a complete high value in this early to the opportunity, narrowing in on it very quickly. And so that was like cemented the point of, I know you said it all the time, but it was like really hit it home for me is, okay, this matters to a high degree. And then that's what made me continue executing on that. But I was in so many interview pools at that point in time that honestly, I knew something would come to fruition. So I even stopped applying.
You were able to get one or two interviews from doing some outreach too. Can you just talk us through that really quickly?
There was probably one critical opportunity for me that I was very interested in, and I had a LinkedIn light connection point. And so again, this role open, 24-hour application, executed on that, but then reached out to you. You gave me a little template of like, hey, here's what you'd want to do when you're doing touch points, or like when you really want to elevate it and kind of push yourself as a top level candidate. Use that template almost word for word. Hate to say that, but it was pretty darn close. And what happened from there is got a literally immediate outreach on LinkedIn from that person. It was like, I'll reach out tomorrow to schedule this interview. And so that little like touch point, and this was probably one of my top 2 or 3 opportunities, if not my top opportunity that I was interested in. So I was pretty excited about success on that front as well. So
Like, what are some things that you did maybe through that process that you feel like helped you stand out, or helped, maybe they gave you direct feedback on, hey, like these are some things that you really impressed us with. I'm just curious to like understand how you went through that process and what that looked like.
yeah, so simple stuff is almost before each of my meetings, or at least before probably the hiring manager meetings and SE leader meetings, like the director of SE, I reached out in advance, just light email touch point. Hey, how's it going, Justin? Excited for the opportunity today. Usually re-linked them to my LinkedIn and resume so that they didn't have to pull it up. I mean, I'm sure they did anyways. And I thought that was helpful. I think touch point before, touch point after for real critical interviews was very much helpful. Other than that, prep. I mean, every single individual I interviewed with, I usually spent 30 minutes to an hour just looking at their background, trying to understand as who they are as a person, what type of questions they might ask for. Heavy prep, and then, as everyone knows, the final stages. That's where you're really putting in the meat and bones of the work of like prepping a presentation. It was intensive in the Rippling environment. It was like an hour-long presentation. So a lot of effort and energy put into that, and that's what sealed the deal ultimately. So
That's amazing. Did you dry running or anything like that, or did you just kind of know what you're going to do, put your presentation together, and then you just practice it on your own? How was your approach for that? Curious.
definitely the latter. It was a piecing it all together using my back experiences. So I had actually have worked with Maddie. She had walked me through like, oh, here's like best practices when you're interviewing and how to think about this and the prep involved in it, and what to
Yeah.
do. And the framework that most leaders are expecting on that front. So I used that really same approach that she had given me she helped me with my previous role at Better Cloud. So I used that approach and leveraged it in this situation and did the same thing. Funny side note, after the presentation, I got an offer within an hour or two after that. And they did upfront say, hey, we were overwhelmed with how much energy and effort you put into this, and there was zero pushback. Everyone was like, hey, make this individual an offer. And so I did not accept that offer initially because I was in other interview processes and I wanted to keep my window open. But I did one of the other things that you and Maddie talked about. They immediately came back with a new offer within a day after that. That was significantly better in that regard. Like it is very wild how quick and easily it happened, maybe when they thought they had the right candidate.
Anything else that you feel like we missed?
In my experience, right, I've had exposure to Maddie. She pretty much was critical in helping me get my initial role at Better Cloud, which was my previous role. I spoke with you right before I went down the interview tunnel and got my secondary role with Rippling. I have nothing but glowing praises to say about either of my experiences with both of you, but it took me 10 seconds to realize I wanted to get on a call with you. And even when I just saw it available on the website, I was just like, click pay, because it was that simple of a decision, because the content up front, it was so valuable to me and high quality and my experiences before. Now I'm in a job position where I've, obviously completely blown out the ROI on what it cost me to have an hour conversation with you. So in my mind, it's a no-brainer.
If you want to speed up your job search, that's what we at Better Careers specialize in. We have a program called the Job Accelerator that gives you step-by-step guidance to how to land a job offer in this competitive job market. And what makes this program incredibly unique and effective is that we provide you with live coaching and a community to support you through every step of the process, from crafting your resume and your LinkedIn profile to ensuring you ace your interviews, as well as effectively negotiating your job offer. In fact, the negotiation coaching we provide typically earns our members between an extra $5,000 and $20,000 on top of their initial job offer, which easily pays for the program that costs around the same price as a LinkedIn subscription. So whenever you're ready, the link to the program is in the description below.